Hey guys, how's it going? I really got to get a new phone. Ugh, it died, but at least we got most everything on there. It turns out that, uh, everybody probably saw what happened there, which was okay. Uh, and members of Antifa were there. The two individuals that I did speak to, Kami and Josh, were both there. Kami and Josh and we stuck around afterwards, and you guys probably, you probably saw that there was a group around me. So what I did was Antifa was definitely there. Kami and Josh both confirmed that to me. And they said that the other night they had Antifa there that was starting right. They were the ones who looted everything. And Kami and Josh, the two individuals that I was speaking to at the end of the night there, they said that there was the plan to loot and burn tonight as well. They said that it was really, really weird that they had all white people there. They're like, this Black Lives Matter movement, or is this a White Lives Matter movement? So they had a lot of Antifa that were there. So my plan was, you got to do psyops. You got to make these people question if they think that these people are cowards. They are absolute cowards. That's what these people are. They do not want to get hurt. They have no courage. They would never serve in the military. They would never do anything. They wouldn't volunteer. And Josh was saying that what was happening was everything was peaceful the other night, and then it was Antifa. It was the members of Antifa that were causing the problems. They were causing all the problems. And they stopped them. They were actually able to stop them a couple of times, but they couldn't stop them all the time from looting the other night. So what ended up happening was, I had it in my mind that I was going to put questions in their mind. I'm going to put doubt in their mind. So I said, look at guys, guns are up on the roof, and I look like a cop. They don't know. They have no idea. I said guns were up on the roofs. We had guns in basements, and that we will shoot you, and we will shoot you dead. And I was able to get the attention off of, because everybody was just getting ready to disband, and I was able to get the attention of most of the thugs that were there. They all surrounded me. All the people who were ready to cause trouble and were looking for any reason or anything to do, they came after me. And I was able to hold them at that location for however long that was. What was it, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? The whole group had disbanded at that point. Everybody had separated. There were a few other people that were there. You guys saw the group that was surrounding me. And those were the troublemakers. Not all of them, but they were a good portion of them. Now, Kami and Josh were saying those guys, they were causing problems with passerbys. They were kicking cars. They were just looking for a reason to get into to have something, get in a fight. They were just looking for it. They were itching for it. And they're like, we're here to peacefully protest. Well, actually, you guys saw it. Everybody had the guise of saying, we're here peacefully protesting, but if we got to burn stuff down, we got to burn stuff down. So, as of now, everything that I can gather in the city of Buffalo, I just left. Everything is dispersed. Nobody is there. And everybody has gone home, which is amazing. So that's a blessing. There were several different groups around, and okay, they do have a roadblock here. I'm in the falls right now, guys. So if you could see this, it's all dead. They're not allowing people to get through the falls. This is one of the areas that they had everything kind of cordoned off the other day. So, everything is on lockdown here. In Buffalo, in the city, everything is tight. nobody is protesting anymore. Curfew was kicked in, and everybody left. So Kami and Josh, they both told me, they said, Pete, yeah, there were people here. They were ready to cause trouble. He goes, I could not believe how few black people were there. So that's testament, guys. You know, that's a testament to, you know, what I've been maintaining all along is that, you know, the black community isn't down with this. You know, they're not. And most of the black community is not. But Antifa is, and these people were coming in. Anything else, guys? I have no idea. You know, Kami and Josh, they did not tell me if anything else was going to go on. They did tell me that everybody was peaceful, planning on being peaceful. I did say that we had heard that there were plans for tomorrow and Sunday for attacks, and they said there weren't going to be any. So that's encouraging. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but that's what they told me. And they're both members of Black Lives Matter, both of those guys, but they're peaceful members. He goes, we have our extremists. They said the extremists were ready to tear stuff down, as they did, or as they have, you know, on Bailey. He says that was Black Lives Matter. They said that was Antifa that did that. And they were pushing that and driving it. They gave me some insight. So all the thoughts that we had about what was driving this, they were like, why are you guys doing that? You know, these white kids. And guys, this whole group, this whole collection at this event today were all social justice warrior, virtue signaling pieces of shit. And I'm sure there were some nice people there. But these are the same people that are mentally ill. They're deranged. They're out of their minds. Now, you want to call me mentally ill or deranged. That's it. You know, going into a situation and putting myself in that situation, that's okay. You can call me that. You know, you can condemn my actions. But you want to know something? It was confirmed by that group. If maybe you heard it, caught it on video, we got to do what we got to do. You know, that was said several times. You know, we got to burn. We've been oppressed, you know, and we got to get ours. And it's not out of the question, you know, and all the other things that they were saying. So there was a possibility of it getting burned down tonight, guys. So, I mean, you guys saw it. Was it reckless? I felt like I had it under control. You know, I felt like I was going to be okay. And, you know, thank God somebody was looking out for me, and it ended up being okay. You guys probably saw a bunch of the video. It sucks. The phone died, so unfortunately I probably lost the whole video, but it is what it is. That's not the important part. The important part is that you guys got to see it. You know, you guys got to be there. You guys got to be there with me and witness what was going on. So down in the city of Buffalo, they had like 3 different groups. There was one down at Niagara Square. There was one walking up and down one of the streets. I can't remember, right by E.B. Green's and Hyatt right there. They were walking down there. Those were all peaceful protests. And even the one at Lafayette or LaSalle Park, or no, excuse me, the Lafayette Square there, that was peaceful. However, there were several members of Antifa that were there, and they were the members that were there that started disrupting everything the other night. And like I said, Kami and Josh both confirmed that attacks were imminent. And you guys saw in the video that they were getting ready to do that. So fortunately for me, I was able to distract that. And again, Kami and Josh both said, we stuck around. I just left. I was there till probably about 9. Kami, Josh, and they're going to actually partner with me on the YouTube idea that I have for the corruption. We're doing exposing corruption in government, and then we're going to be going around and we're going to show neighborhoods and just how bad these neighborhoods have been. We're going to do research on it, and we're going to show when the last time these buildings were occupied, when the last time these roads were damaged. You know, when Josh started talking to me, and he said, hey, he goes, I go, what do you do for work? And he goes, well, I'm out of work right now, but I get music. And Kami says, you know, I work over there. I work long hours, but I work Wednesday to Saturday. I go, guys, everything happens for a reason. We all come into contact with one another for a reason. I said, I've had this idea for this YouTube channel for a long time about exposing government corruption. And I said, we can do this together. How would you like to do that? And they were like, hell yeah, I'm on board. The end of the conversation, those guys and I, the handful of guys that stuck around, we were all on the same page. We came together. They realized that we're not different. That started dangerous. It started that they thought that we were diametrically opposed, on opposite sides. And then they realized that they're actually way more common ground than they thought. And these are members of Black Lives Matter. Peaceful members of Black Lives Matters. Now, would I have been able to have that conversation with an extremist that's in the group that they said was there and was ready to tear things down tonight, or Antifa? No, because those people are mentally ill. Those people are unhinged. Those are the people that are causing the problems, not the major part of Black Lives Matter movement, So, that was crazy, absolutely nuts, but I felt like I had to do it. And guys, I got to tell you, there were no Buffalo police officers there. There were like 5 cars. So for a group of people that were potential attackers and that absolutely had members of Antifa that were looting the other night, were extremists from Black Lives Matter, they were there and they were ready to loot. And they were ready to destroy the same way they had the other night. Now, you guys saw the numbers. I don't know how many people were there. I don't know how many people were there peacefully, and I don't know how many people were there ready to throw down. But I'm going to tell you this, no officers were there. Now, that's scary. Guys, that's where you have alienated these police officers. That's where these officers feel like, what are they doing? They're not going to put themselves in harm's way. That's a problem. Obviously, police abuse and police corruption is a problem. I've talked about that for years. And Kami and Josh and I, we were on the same exact page. Common ground, We were able to come to some very common ground, the two of us. And like I said, now we're going to partner on that. So pretty cool stuff. I've been looking for a partner on that for a long time. And who would have thought I would have found it in a Black Lives Matter and an Antifa rally? So I talked to them about some different educational programs. AUSL, which is inspirational out of Chicago. I told them to take a look at murder rates on CDC.gov. Black people killing black people. I said, go on CDC.gov and look at it. And they agreed to. They said, yeah, we'll do that. So now I'm Facebook friends with Kami and Josh. And they're probably not going to like everything that they see on my page, but that's okay. We're friends. And now we've got a business venture that we're going to start. So, Kami and Josh are pretty awesome dudes. Amazing guys to sit down and talk with. They had my back, Kami and Josh. And I don't know who the handful of other individuals were there that had my back, but they were protecting me. They circled me. They made sure that the Antifa dicks, because there wasn't any, and that's the thing, there weren't any black people there that were ready to throw down. That's the problem, guys. Antifa is taking the Black Lives Movement Matter, and they're sabotaging it, and they're using it for their own gains, their own disruption. What this shows, though, is where we thought these people had strength, Antifa, where we thought that these looters and rioters had strength. And I'm not going to say that they didn't have it in these other cities. And that's the reason I did what I did, guys, because these other cities are still burning. These other cities still have officers and hospitals laid up. These other hospitals or these other towns, they're still destroyed. New York is still boarded up. They're still boarded up, But Kami and Josh, they protected me, and we had a civil discourse, and it was all black people that protected me. There was one tiny little white girl, but she was just like, you got to get out of here, But all the black guys that were there, they protected me. Now, I know I did my genetic thing, and, I'm 95% black. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Grandpa. If I just tease him. But it was, they came to me. They came by my side. And that was my point of going down, was to show that we are together. It was to show that we're not that different. It was to show that we are one, that you don't have to go around and burn our city, and that you don't have to go around and loot and destroy property. So as much as you want to say that Pete's crazy or Pete's reckless or whatever, and I'm not going to say I had a hand in stopping it at all. I'm not going to say that. I don't know, but I did what I had to do to try to make it stop. I did not want what happened in Bailey. I was there to watch what happened on Bailey. I did not want it to happen that way again. I had a plan. I set about doing it. I did what I did. And like I said, that group of people, they followed me. And that was awesome. If those were all the radicals, if those were all the extremists, and they were ready, and they wanted a piece of me. They wanted a piece of me bad. And then once I turned everybody on my side and I started talking the conversation, and you guys know the conversations that I've been having about this stuff, I'm on their side. It's truthful. It's honest. All of a sudden, the crazy white kids that say they're there for the black kids, but they're really not. They're there for extremism. They're there for radicalism. And Kami and Josh, they were like, we're like, we don't know who these people are. They came in and they start doing things and they start trying to raise trouble and they're kicking cars and they're punching people. It's like, that's not us. That's not what we want. They go, we have extremists in our Black Lives Matter movement. We know it. We don't endorse that at all. And then I told them, I go, hey guys, we were with you. We were I said, my groups would stand with you. Like we were ready to stand with you. And Kami and Josh, just two really, really awesome guys. I'm so blessed to have met them. And I can't wait to start this YouTube series exposing corruption. They want the corporatocracy tore down. They want government, this government nonsense that's going on and how, and we're in complete and total agreement and they couldn't believe it. They're like, they're like, are you a Republican? And I'm like, I'm not a Republican. I says, I'm really not. I says, would I be identified as a Republican or a conservative traditionally? Yeah, I would be. But I said, I'm a libertarian constitutionalist. And they respected that, I can't wait to work with them. It's great that we got that plan. So I came out to Niagara Falls right now. I'm out here and nothing. I don't know if there was a curfew imposed on the falls or not, but it's dead. Niagara Falls is dead. I drove through both business centers and nobody's out. It's Saturday, or wait, no, it's Friday. Everybody's ready to party. They're tired out. The media cycle on this nonsense usually lasts about a week to two. They need to be held accountable. The media needs to just and you know what? Kami and Josh and I and everybody else that's helping me, all the people, Natalie and Autumn and Taylor and Melissa, everybody that is standing by me, and we're putting all this stuff, all these names down and all this information, and all these people are helping start the research. This lockdown that they did, that was absolutely unconstitutional and not right. That other countries proved that 5 weeks into it, they were done. That brought us together. And that's a godsend because we're going to change what's happening in this state. We're the corruption that's in Niagara Falls, the fact that everything is dilapidated, the fact that it has been run down for years. We all know it's been like this for 70 years. We know the East Side has been a war zone since the 70s, since the 60s. We know that. Now guess what? We're coming together. Kami and Josh know we're going to come together. And so many more like-minded people are coming together. And they're ready to tear down the establishment. We're ready to give this back to the people. We're ready to do it the right way and give the Constitution back to us. And all of our freedoms and all of our rights. And for us to just be happy. That's what we want to be. We want to be happy. We want to be able to live our lives. We don't want government to be weaponized. We don't want the government to be weaponized against us. Nobody wants the government to be weaponized against us. They don't want the tax office to be weaponized against us. We don't want inspections office to be weaponized against us. We don't want assessor's office to be weaponized against us. We don't want family court. We don't want any of it. None of us want it to be, and it is, and it has been being weaponized against us for decades. Now that we've come together because of the lockdown, now it's in trouble. And we're going to tear it apart. It's coming down. And Kami and Josh, they're ready to help. So it's going to be awesome. I'm really, really happy and excited to work with those guys, and I'm really happy and excited that this happened, that everybody disbanded. I'm really happy that down in the city, Niagara Square ended peacefully, Lafayette Square ended peacefully, and then up and down where they were walking by the Hyatt, that ended peacefully. And I'm in the Falls now, and it's dead here. There is nobody out. It's a completely different scene than it was the other night. Now, there were a lot of cars parked all around, and that scene at Lafayette Square, I'm going to tell you what, that was scary. I ain't going to lie. Because I look into that crowd, and all I see are white people and no black people. And I go, Connie, I'm like, why aren't there any white people here or any black people here? He goes, your guess is good as mine. And I go, well, I think I know, because I have protests too, and nobody shows up to our protests either. Everybody wants what the protesters do, but everybody wants somebody else to do the protesting. Everybody else wants somebody else to be the person that steps up. We could all be that person. We could all be the one that stands up. Even in little ways and doing little things, guys, we could all be that person. So thank God there's nothing here in the Falls. I thank God that there's nothing here, nothing downtown. I pray for our city. I pray for law enforcement. I pray that Martin Gugino is found out. And all the videos that I shared with law enforcement today, my friends in law enforcement, I shared and exposed his fraud. That guy, Martin Gugino, he was arrested back a few years ago. He was pushed down and did the same move on City Hall steps and fell the same way, all on camera. He's an activist for years. He is trying to defund police departments. The guy's a joke. And now I'm not going to get into whether he had a blood bag or not. I've saw the pictures. It's not definitive to me. Watching the video is definitive to me. Looking at his Facebook page is definitive to me. Knowing who this guy is and all the videos of what he did and the fraud that he is that exposed that. Now, is the media going to come out and apologize? No, they're not. The media is a part of the problem. They didn't do their research. We did. We figured it out in minutes. And who are we? We're not professionals. We're just people that work. And in minutes, we figured it out. We had it all figured out together, collaboratively, collectively. We figured out that this guy was a fraud. The media couldn't do that with all the resources that they have, all the people that they have. No. You know why? Because they wanted to continue and escalate what was going on. That's why. They were looking for another person to be able to propel and drive their cause. And we shut it down. I hope to God, I don't know if those officers were arrested or not, but, by exposing what that guy did and putting those two officers that did nothing. And not only did that guy put those officers at risk, but, the Buffalo Riot Squad, on the day of where there would be a riot, the Buffalo Riot Squad and SWAT all resigned. And I applaud them for what they did. I absolutely applaud them because they're stepping up and they're supporting their brother, that they know they didn't do anything wrong. So, props and kudos to them for standing strong. But at the same time, the day that Antifa and Black Lives Matter extremists are here in town, Buffalo Riot Squad and SWAT shut down. Now, our protests, our small protests with 100 people or less at Niagara Square, they have gunmen up on rooftops. They have police everywhere. Everywhere. Now, they had a group with Antifa and Black Lives Matter extremists. That's guaranteed. It was there. It was already confirmed. Did Black Lives Matter movement want them there? No, they didn't want them there. They didn't ask for that. They were just there. But our group that we had guns on rooftops for old people and women. Guns on rooftops. And tonight, nobody was there in the city for Buffalo police. So what does that say? It says that Martin Gugino should be in prison because first for fraud, and then second, He put everybody else's lives at risk. Now, I'm not going to advocate or condone the fact that Buffalo police weren't there. They had literally 4 cars or 5 cars, and there were several hundred people, if not 1,000 people. I mean, you guys saw the numbers. I walked through the group right there, Lafayette Square, the one side. I don't know what the numbers are that would fill that up, but no officers walking around, no officers on rooftops. And when we're protesting, there are officers on rooftops with guns. They have guns out. They have guns there, and just in case we get unruly. Women, 70-year-old men, women and children at our protest, they have guns on rooftops. Antifa and extremist Black Lives Matter, no guns, no cops. Nobody was there. This is why this has to be taken apart, guys. It's absolutely absurd that you would have guns on rooftops for women, 60 and 70-year-old men, and children protesting. Around 100 people. But for 1,000 people, you're not going to have any officers around in sight. No gunmen on rooftops. Nothing. And you know that they've already looted and rioted one time. Now, it wasn't Black Lives Matter locally that did that. We know it was Antifa and the Black Lives Matter extremists that did it, because Black Lives Matter locally, like Kami and Josh, they were, and I hope it's Josh, I really do. I think that was his name, but I might be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. But they were stopping it. Kami and Josh, they said they had they had somebody they knew who was doing it. They go, "What are you doing, man? Stop. Get out of here." And the guy left. So there were a lot of people that were from out of town there. That's a guarantee and confirmed. And there were no Buffalo police officers anywhere to be found. There were, like I said, 4 cars. How is that? How is that possible? Ask yourselves that question, guys. It's right now, I'm just sick about it. Our group's gunmen on rooftops pointing guns at old men, women, and children. But Antifa, who's looted and rioted and been burning cities, and Black Lives Matter extremists, nothing. So, anyways, it's a real pickle. That's a question there. So thank God nothing happened, you know. And here in the Falls, it is quiet. it is quiet as my house. You know, it is quiet. It is super quiet here, and nobody here, which is great. So prayers have been answered. You know, there were monstrous amounts of prayers that were going around. Anybody that turned their lights on, guys, I really appreciate that. I do. I hope we don't have to do that again or try to do that. You know I had some people that were like, "Pete, what are you doing?" And I'm like, man, that just came to me. If it just takes turning on lights for one night, that we could all come together and we could forget about all of this, and there could be forgiveness in our hearts because we put lights on and we got through that, how magical and beautiful would that be? Like, how easy is that? And all it is turning lights on, going outside, standing arm in arm, you know? So I'm not ashamed of anything that I did. I did it, and am I proud of it? I don't know if I'm proud of it. I felt called to do it. Our cities are burning. You know, when people go, Pete, you're just fear-mongering, and our cities are burning. New York, like, look at the video, guys. The video after video after video of all these cities. I did not want our city to burn down. And if it was a couple hundred guys that were extremists or whatever, I was willing to take that chance, you know. And it shut down. And in Niagara Falls here, it shut down. I pray to God, guys, keep praying. You know, if you believe that, you know, keep those lights on for our country. You know, share that. You know, share that if you want to. I thought it was a good idea. Maybe it's a horrible idea. Hopefully enough people think it's a good enough idea. It's easy to do. Leave the lights off in your bedroom, of course, so you can go to sleep, but leave the lights on everywhere else, you know. And I think that's a beautiful gesture, you know, showing that light gets us through the darkness. Now, am I a religious person? Everybody knows I'm really not a religious person. Do I have faith? Absolutely, I have faith. I believe in God. I pray, and I believe in Jesus, and I have faith. And do I believe that collectively, when positive thinking is out there and positive energy and positive vibes are out there, that positive things can happen? Absolutely. So leave those lights on tonight, guys. Leave those lights on for everybody in this country that was hurt. Everybody that's been hurt by police brutality. Everybody that's been hurt by police. Everybody that's been hurt by some government agency that's been weaponized. Everybody that's been hurt by the lockdown. Everybody that's lost a loved one due to suicide because of this lockdown. Our veterans that are committing suicide, our mentally ill that are committing suicide, our elderly that we've lost, that we haven't been able to go to their funerals. People that have died because of opioids, people that have suffered due to alcoholism and domestic abuse because of this lockdown. Don't forget about the lockdown, guys. That sucked. And a lot of people hurt. This is about them. Lights on is for them. Lights on is in memory of those. Who's going to do the tribute to all of the elderly that they were scared to death for the last days of their life? Scared to death in a country they didn't recognize. In a country that wasn't anything that they ever knew. They died. So the light's on tonight, and I don't know if we carry it on, if it picks up momentum in a few more places, maybe we can continue it, but lights on tonight at my house all night long. I'm so grateful and thankful for everything that everybody did to help and that everybody is continuing to do to help. So happy that Niagara Falls is dead. I really am. That's awesome. I'm so glad that Buffalo is safe and everything is good there. So, anyways, I'm going to go home. I got some leftovers, fettuccine Alfredo and shrimp, and then we got a protest tomorrow. And then I got to get over to Sherry and Josh's to work at their place. So, but we do still have a protest tomorrow, guys. So if you want to show up, Transit and Maple at 11:30. That's for